Hello again, friends. Welcome to Beavertown Outdoors. I'm John out here at the beautiful Beavertown compound. Thanks for stopping by. So today I'm going to test out, this is going to be a short video. I'm going to test out a new piece of equipment in the wood yard. You guys are going to help me do that. And that new piece of equipment isn't a chainsaw. It's not a splitter. It's not a trailer. It's this. An actual camcorder. It's a Polaroid, 4K, Wi-Fi enabled, ultra, lots of things. But I'm trying to upgrade and get a little more quality of my videos. And I got an actual tripod. I don't know if you ever saw what I've been using. It was a microphone stand, and then I put my GoPro on a camera stick that fit inside the mic holder. So it worked. It's what I had on hand. But I thought, I'm getting enough views that it might be a service to you guys for me to actually get some regular equipment. Now, I don't have a microphone yet for this, so I'm not sure how well the internal microphone's going to work, but we're going to take it out and we're going to give it a shot. So let's see how this turns out.
All right, everybody. We're videoing. All right, guys. So this is me testing out the new camera. I bought a new camera. Hopefully you can hear me pretty good. I don't have a lapel mic yet. That's on order. So today's video is going to be kind of just more about testing this out, seeing how good of a video we can make, and hopefully it's going to improve the quality going forward. So what I'm going to talk to you today about is stacking wood. If you see my short, trying out stacking the Holzhausen. For years I've been stacking different ways, stacking with just the straight rows like Dad taught me many years ago. I've tried the IBC totes. Those work good. But I'm trying something different. The nice thing so far I'm finding with the Holzhausen is the idea is that I don't need to buy pallets, I don't need to buy IBC totes, I don't need to buy anything. I just stack the wood, let it do its thing. So the area I'm trying that out in, it's sandy soil. It's not a lot of clay. If it was clay, I'd be having to put gravel down or put pallets down or something like that. So, but let's turn around and we'll see what we can show you. So here, this is the Holzhausen I've been working on, and I'm just going to hold these up here. Okay, so this is the Holzhausen I've been working on. Started with bottom row. We just put the wood on the bottom, bark side down. I don't know if you can tell. I mean, this is sandy soil, and yeah, it looks kind of dark, but that's because it literally was just done being covered with snow. We had another round of snow happen, and so that's why. This Holzhausen, she's 8 foot in diameter, and looking at it, going to be about 6 foot high. If you do the math with wood in the center, as hopefully you can see there. Hopefully you saw that there. That's 8 foot high, 6 foot tall, 6 foot high, 8 foot around, filled all the way in the center. It ends up being about 2 and a little over a quarter cord if it was perfectly full. Now we all know stacking wood, you got air spaces. You're not going to have 100% full wood. So I figure this way, if I do it 6 foot high, we're going to end up, that'll make up for it to be about 2 cords. That should be about 2 full cord easily. So it's pretty simple. You start around the bottom. The beginning of it is kind of a pain. You got to make a ring around. Find the center post, which is why the pipe is there. and you measure 4 foot out and put your ring around the bottom, and then that way the first course tips down so that only the very edge is touching the ground. And again, the first row is all going to be, no matter what, barked down. Trying to keep most of it barked down throughout the whole stack, but however the wood works out, and it stacks tight and it's going to be stable, that's why we're doing it. Leaning towards bark down, or at least sideways, but a couple pieces I needed to do bark up. And I'm sure somebody gonna comment and say, every piece has to be barked down. Well, I'm trying this out, so be kind. So we're gonna try that one and see how this works out. Now this is pretty much most of the wood I've split, cut and stacked for the last month or so. All my last videos, the cutting and the stacking, or cutting and the bucking and splitting. This is all of that wood, plus some that was done before that. And I'm not even quite done filling it up. So that's pretty good. That should take up, I'm hoping, even though it's a circle, you're going to leave airspace. You got to leave air anyway. That's going to take up less overall space than to stack it into rows. Plus, the nice thing is it's so far it's stable. We'll see how that works out after it sits for a year or two. So this is where I started. That's all locust and some oak over there that I split earlier in the year. So over here, guys, this is wood that I've stacked before. This was done last year. I've got some rows. It's all hard maple and ash and some of the other stuff. This wasn't any of the oak from Mount St. Red Oak. So back here, there's all our normal ways of doing it, whether it's rows or there's a couple IBC totes. One IBC tote with it stacked in there. Another one that, actually there's 3 of them, that I just split the wood, threw it in there, use it more for transport. It's been sitting there for over the winter now. It was just kind of a, hey, I wasn't getting to stacking it yet, let's get it off the ground. The totes do a good job of that. So here's our traditional method. Here's the rows. And the thing about this, now again, it's sandy soil. I probably could, if I put it bark down, I could probably stack on the ground. The bad thing is you're going to lose some. No matter what, the bottom isn't really going to get dry until you pull the stuff off the top and restack it. I'm not about handling this more than I have to. So the other thing is you got to put runners down. That's typically how I've done it, is put runners down, whether they were pallets or I got some 4x4s laying around here. But yeah, so put a couple runners down, and then every face cord putting a T-post, which I've had a bunch laying around. Unfortunately, I'm running out of them, and they're not cheap. So when I had them laying around, that was one thing. But to go and buy them, man, that's just, that's an expense. So again, the reason for trying the Holzhausen, different way that, I've got some pipes laying around and a 10-foot pipe that's laying around doing nothing. I could throw it up there to use as my center. It's not really any expense. So you can see some of the runners I've put down in the past. And here we've got, it looks like one stack kind of, the back end of that one looks like the post actually came down. So let's see if we can walk over there. Got our nice apple trees here. Nope, didn't. I just couldn't see it that well. So, we'll kind of go through the jungle here of our apple trees. Okay, but, so here I've got each one of these rows, at least the first 3 have a full cord. So there's 3 face cords in each one of these. And this takes up a fair amount of room. Even these 2 here, these first 2, 1, 2, those are, there's 2 full cord there. And you see it takes these long rows, it takes a lot of space. You know, whereas in over there, we're going to play with the zoom just because we can. So down here, there's the Holzhausen. And right now there's 2 full cords sitting in that. So all of that fits into that. Nice, tight, compact. So there's an advantage there. You know, again, without the runners, without having to get pallets, T-posts, we've got a way of getting these, getting this stacked up. You know, and the other thing is the way, if you do the Holzhausen right, it's kind of sits on itself and doesn't want to shift. You can actually see, and I'm going to try to get over here closer. It's hard telling. Okay, but you see how this one's kind of starting to lean? That happens. There's only so much steadiness you get with a big long row that's 4 foot high. You know, let's see. I'm going to shake this a little bit. Okay, so it's, I mean, yes, you stack it, but you know, you're only 16 inches wide, so you're less than a foot wide, and you know, you're trying to stack 4 foot high. Over here, again, our Holzhausen, and you can see, yeah, I'm out just a tiny bit over there, but you know, we're 8 feet in diameter, but overall we're 6 foot high, so we're wider than we are tall. Theoretically, that should be more stable. We hope. So, I'll walk around here again. So we got some empty IBC totes. So now over here, here's some IBC totes that just have wood thrown in them. They're not stacked, it's just wood split, thrown in. So we've got our IBC totes here. And again, you know, this is wood just thrown in here. And it's, I mean, it's fairly dry. Don't get me wrong, except when you drop it in the snow like that. You know, stays dry, gets it off the ground. You know, there's videos back and forth of whether this dropped in here equals what is stacked. My feeling is, without doing extensive scientific testing, is that this is not as much wood as the one stacked, which I'm going to show you here in a minute. You know, but the nice thing with the IBC totes, if you stack them out, I know I can fit a face cord in. Pretty much face cord, if you stack it well. If they're consistent lengths that you can get it tight, you're not wasting a bunch of space with there. You can get a face cord in one of these. And I can pick one up, take it with the tractor, and move it. I can stack 3 of them together, I know I got a full cord. Problem is, again, finding IBC totes. Now, some people, you know, if you've got a farm, if you've got something where you get these regularly, you've got a free source for them. Me, I have to go find them. So, you know, I found a guy that I could buy these from for a decent price, but I had to drive an hour and a half to get them. So there's a cost factor there. And it's an initial investment. You know, these aren't going to, they're going to last more than a year. But I want to say between gas and the cost of the totes themselves, you know, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I have like 16 of these things. But I want to say I'm into them almost $1,000. By the time I spent the gas, everything to go get them and to buy them, you know, when people were just trying to throw them away, you know, that wasn't a big deal. But now people have they're using them, especially the food grade ones. Ones that haven't had chemicals in them, they've had food grade stuff in them. They're charging $100 a tote for the cage and the bladder. Um, and I really don't care about the bladder. I've got a bunch of them sitting over here that are they're cut in half. They've had chemicals in them. I really don't care. Some of them have been cut up to be roofs for these, like you might have saw over here. But even ones that had oil or had chemicals in them, these ones are dirty. I mean, the ones I got in here are dirty. They still had chemicals in them. I had to wash the tops after I cut them. To me, I was getting a good price at this point, paying $25, $30 each. And again, that's an investment. Then you start haggling. Well, by the time I buy 3 pallets from some guy at $1 or $5 even a piece, for the cost of 1 tote, I can get 3 pallets and 2 T-posts and stack a full cord. Have me instead of just a face cord. Things you gotta weigh. There is a convenience factor to these. Again, like I said, moving them around with the tractor. If you got a tractor with forks, man, this is a convenient way, to move it around without handling it with unstacking, restacking. Once you fill it up, you can pick it up and move it. So there's that. So that was totes that were not stacked. Here's one. Okay, now you see what I mean? Now this tote here. I'm going to get down here. So now here's a tote that I've stacked. I actually stacked the wood in there. And I know there's a face cord in here, at least a solid face cord, probably maybe even a little bit more. I've got a little bit up here at the top. If you're going to do totes, to me, this is the way that makes sense. I know it's stacked. I know I got a consistent amount, fairly consistent amount. And I know it's going to get enough air and movement and whatnot to actually dry. The other totes, I kind of just throw stuff in there to move it around, move it to places I'm going to stack it, and I still end up stacking it. To stack to dry, or to put it to where it's just going to sit to dry, to me, you got to stack this. That's my opinion. By all means, everybody else, maybe there's somebody else out there who's had better luck with that. Me, not so much. Alright, so I figure I'm just going to take this opportunity to see how this works handheld. Kind of show you where things are lately. Here's Mount St. Red Oak. We made a good dent in it. Actually, we can see the peak on the other side. So I'd say we're about a third of the way through. We got a long way to go. Hoping to get more of this cut up. And I know there was a comment on my page that of a gentleman that thought my cutting techniques were poor and told me to stop videotaping my suicide by, what did he say? My suicide by slack. Well, appreciate the comment. But I'm going to keep making the videos. And, if things happen, it's my time, it's my time. I encourage you, if you're an expert and you don't, constructive criticism is always welcome. But if you're going to be that stern, I say, please, by all means, feel free to make videos that show your perfect cutting technique. Show your flawless execution on how to do this, and otherwise, please don't be rude. That's all I'll say. But anyway, so some of the snow's going away. Some of my other videos, this might look like a pile of just snow from doing the wood yard. This was actually the first pile of cut red oak. So I'm kind of glad to see this is finally getting thawed out. So hopefully in the next video I'll be able to split some of this. So we got our verse tube shelter. She's held up well. But yeah. So I hope this video is turning out well. Like I said, it's a new camera. Getting to learn it. Here's this is all poplar. Hoping to cut this up, split it up for campfire wood, both for our own use and to sell, because there's a lot of it here and probably rot by the time I got through burning it all in the backyard. Yeah. But things are finally thawing out, which is awesome.
All right, guys. So I'm not sure if the new camera, how well that's going to work out. So for talking and whatnot without the microphone. So I'm shooting this outro video second time. This with the phone. So anyway, that was a little walk through the yard. A little talk about how we're stacking things and what's the best way. You know, if you got some pointers, some constructive criticism, by all means, please feel free to comment. But again, I ask, please keep the comments kind. Try to be kind. Try to be polite. You know, we're all adults here. We can be good. So kindness wins. And yeah. But anyway, till next time, everyone. If you like what you saw, please subscribe. I could use some more subscribers. Till next time, everyone. Take care, stay safe, and I'm out.